All right, welcome back to the Death Series. Today we're going to be talking about the 10 famous food related passings. That's people who passed away pretty much after eating. So, myth and scandal and rumors surrounding the passing of many famed individuals throughout history. The Roman senator Lucas Flavius Silos is alleged to have passed away from choking on a single hair in a cup of milk. One account of Alexander the Great, who loved to party, maintains the great king. He passed after a passive bender of booze and food consumption unbroken by sleep, exacerbated, exacerbated by a fever. My goodness, right, people? And if you are new to the channel, now would be a good time to like the video and to subscribe. And I'm curious to know, do you guys like hearing about this death series? And have you checked out any of my prison series? I'm curious to know that too. And if you have, go ahead and let me know in the comments below, because that is important. That you let me know that you're actually enjoying the series. But, or do you feel like this series is just too toxic? That would be helpful too if you would let me know that. But yes, this is Death Series episode 12, and we are going to get back to it. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Okay, so there are a lot of questionable accounts throughout history. Mozart may have passed from his love of undercooked pork chops, but there are others that leave little doubt food, drink were a major contributor to a person's passing. The following 10 foods range between the famous who passed because of what and how much food they ate in recent famous cases of everyday people whose dangerous consumption contributed directly to their passing. U.S. President Zachary Taylor is from the time period of 1784 to 1850. Okay, so they're trying to say it was called Chlora morbus gastritis. Never heard of it. The sudden passing of the 12th U.S. President Zachary Taylor remains the subject of some, although the role of food in his demise isn't. During sweltering conditions on the 4th of July celebrations of 1850, Taylor consumed a large quantity of cherries and iced milk, and then returned to the White House, where he quenched his thirst with several glasses of water. Later that night, the president, a hero of the Mexican War nicknamed Rough Reddy, became unwell, eventually passing 4 days later. Taylor's physician described his passing as chlora morbus, a bacterial infection of the small intestines that he likely picked up from the milk. Other scholars believe Taylor's illness to be brought by, looks like stomach, caused by cherry acidity in combination with the poor sanitary conditions in DC at the time. Just a moment. Okay. Okay, so next on the list, you know what? Some of these people, I realize I am not too familiar with them. And if you guys have heard of this, then let me know that in the comments below. The next person is Henry, King of Great Britain from the time period of 1068 to 1135. Interesting that they think that we would like to hear about him. So Henry passed in 1135 at approximately age 67. He was old, right? So people pass at that age. Okay, so they said they wrote that the king quickly became ill from eating a surfeit of lampreys. He passed less than a week later, having never recovered. And they say he's one of the most famous rulers to have passed directly from the result of eating. It's believed Harry's personal physicians had implored him to stop eating the eel-like fish as it had caused him previous health complications. Okay, so next on the list, the person's name is Bando Mitch Sugaro. It said from the time period of 1906 to 1975, blowfish poisoning. He was so good. They're talking about his theater plays. They're saying he's a superstar at that time period. Okay, so I'm skimming through. So they're saying he looked a little like Robert De Niro, Al Capone, and Hugh Jackman. And like that's, I guess, like he had that level of star power and acting chops. Okay. Okay, so it was they said a ugly little fish that pretty much did him in. So in 1975, while out at a restaurant with friends, they said he ate a blowfish, confident that the poisonous delicacy couldn't harm him. Blowfish contains a poison causing symptoms of numbness, paralysis. 20 minutes to 3 hours after ingestion, these spread to the whole body in serious cases, leading to the passing by respiratory failure. And they said he ate the fish allegedly. Even now, chefs need a specific license to prepare Fuji. They say he passed just 8 hours after eating a variety of poorly prepared fish livers. Okay, next on the list, Mama Cass Elliott. Okay, so she passed of heart failure from the time period of 1941 to 1974. Mama Cassett Elliott was an American singer best known for having been a beloved member of the Mamas and Papas, where her voice laid the platform for many of their songs. And they say she released 5 solo albums, was touring in England at the time of her passing, staying at the house of fellow pop singer Harry Nelson's. Elliott, who battled with her weight since age 7, passed tragically from a heart failure at the age of 32. The rumors was that she choked on a ham sandwich in bed at the age of 32. It's kind of odd. Next person on the list is Jennifer Strange. She was from the time period of 1979 to 2007. Water intoxication. Who would know water can do this, right? This incident was famous for making headlines worldwide, not for the fame of the person who passed. In 2007, a 28-year-old mother of 3, Jennifer Strange, passed from water intoxication after participating in Sacramento's radio station's KDND-FM's contest, Hold Your Wee for a Wee. Wow, the competition called for the participants to drink as many water bottles as they could without going to the bathroom in order to win a Nintendo Wii, with Strange believed to consume over 7.5 liters in a short time. Despite Strange having signed a waiver to compete, it was found that the competition was not even legal, and her husband sued the owner of the radio station for wrongful death. A judge awarded Mr. Strange $6.5 million and 10 people involved in the competition were fired. Who cares if they were fired? Shouldn't they be held liable in prison? Right, people? And if you're new to the channel, now would be a good time to like the video and to subscribe. And I think that's a little crazy if you ask me. But moving on to the next person on the list, they're from a time period 1546 to 1601. Their name was Tycho Brahe. They said Tycho Brahe was an interesting fellow and legendary loose unit. He was a Danish nobleman and noted astrologist, famed for his comprehensive cataloging of stars and planets, but often got into other things. And then they said he lost, I'm trying to see what they made. At one stage, Brahe lost his nose in a duel and then wore a prosthetic nose made from brass. He was exalted from Denmark at the time of his passing due to run-ins with the king. Brahe passed under suspicious circumstances after a banquet in Prague, where he was living as a guest. While originally thought to have been poisoned, it turns out Brahe was exhumed twice by curious authorities and passed from a burst bladder. This is in 1901 and 2010. According to a first-hand account from his offsider, they said Johannes Kepler, he had refused to relieve himself during the function as it was a breach of etiquette, but passing in agony a few days later. Okay, next on the list is Jim Fix. I haven't heard of this person either. And they said they passed from atherosclerosis from the time period of 1932 to 1984. Jim Fix brought running into the fitness regiments of Americans everywhere with his best-selling 1977 book, The Complete Book of Running. He ran up to 80 miles a week. That, combined with his penchant for fast food, is what caused him to pass. Fix, who had been almost 215 pounds or so, 100 kilos, and a relentlessly heavy smoker, had taken up running at 35, but hadn't bothered to make changes to his diet. He did quit the smokes. Fix died while running his daily route, age 52, his arteries almost completely clogged from a lifespan spent eating junk food, which spurred on those diets where exercise was combined with heavy diet choices. The next person on the list is Adolf Fredrik, King of Sweden, from the time period of 1710 to 1771. Burst stomach. Okay. From all accounts, he was a good fellow that could eat like a sumo wrestler, which is probably a good thing because he couldn't do much as king with real power in the hands of his court rather than the crown. According to his wiki page, Adolf Fredrik passed after having a massive dinner of lobster, caviar, kippers, sauerkraut, and champagne, topped off with his favorite dessert, Hedvog, made of simla pastries served in a bowl of hot milk. All sounds yummy, right, people? I find this impressive for two reasons. That's a massive meal with a lot of different tastes, and it's also a highly detailed list, considering the king's entry isn't a huge one. The Britannica Encyclopedia in 1911 just said that he passed of surfeit or too much. Okay, interesting. It's been written Adolf Fredrik ate 14 of the desserts before stumbling off to bed in passing of a burst stomach. Got to love a guy that's happy to go out eating his faves. Next on the list, Basil Brown. Okay, from the time period of 1926 to 1974. Carrot juice addiction. Interesting. Basil Brown was a British health food enthusiast that took things too far. Over a 10-day period in 1974, Brown consumed over 70 million units of vitamin A. Brown had basically smashed carrot juice blend after carrot juice blend and washed them down with garden variety multivitamins. This dietary regimen quickly poisoned him. Brown, who had unsurprisingly had turned an unhealthy shade of orange and died of cirrhosis of the liver due to his carrot juice addiction. But again, he consumed over 70 million units of vitamin A, so what do you expect? That sounds like you're poisoning yourself. And if you are new to the channel, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know, have you seen any of my other death episode series? Let me know if you've checked out my prison series and which one are you really liking the best. Okay, next on the list is Natasha Harris from time period 1980 to 2010. Passing from Coca-Cola. Natasha Harris is a 30-year-old mother of 8 from New Zealand. She passed from a heart attack caused by her addiction to Coca-Cola. The pathologist who testified at her inquest said that Harris likely suffered from low potassium caused by poor nutrition, and the toxic levels of caffeine didn't help. Miss Harris drank up to 10 liters per day. New Zealand coroner David Creekar estimated, which works out to more than twice the recommended daily caffeine consumption and more than 11 times the recommended sugar intake. Conclusion: there are some very strange passings on this list, most of which could have been avoided with better living conditions and smarter health choices. And it doesn't. Okay, so I guess they're just saying that, I don't know, they didn't feel like it was a lot of alcohol being the issue, is mostly food issues in these cases. So it's a great reminder to make smart choices regarding what and how much you consume. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video and don't forget to subscribe.